Good afternoon and welcome to the Serendipity AL Grant winner announcement. Launched in 2020, the grant is a collaboration between Serendipity Arts and Rencontre de AL in partnership with the French Institute in India and the Embassy of France in India. It is the largest grant of its kind dedicated to lens-based practitioners from South Asia, supporting creative exchange and cross-cultural dialogue across photography, video, and new media. This year, we are fortunate to be guided by an esteemed jury, Sabina Gadiok, Jemima Montague, Christoph Weisner, Anoli Pereira, Julie Jones, and Smriti Rajkaria. Unfortunately, Julie and Anoli could not make it to the festival. I now invite the Director of Serendipity Arts, Smriti, to talk about this partnership.
Thank you, Amisha. Thank you, everyone, for coming on this warm afternoon to our small talk space. I mean, this project is an example of why we started the festival. For us, the 10th edition is big, and I'm so glad that Christoph is here and many other partners. Obviously, my friend Amandine is here. I mean, when we started the foundation and the festival, we knew that we weren't the creators, we were the collaborators. We wanted to be a place where we could bring a lot of voices together from different parts of the world, send voices from this part of the world to the globe. And it's really been endearing to know that we have partners like Rencontre de AL, Royal College of Art, and people who found value in what we do in this part of the world. I think that's really why we do what we do. For us, collaboration is everything. I see older jury members. This is our 3rd edition of the Serendipity AL Grant. We've got Pascal with us. Ravi is here. I know Dayanita is in town somewhere. But we've been on a journey of discovery. Being a part of a jury is very difficult. I start sweating because to be able to decide on someone's career or to decide if somebody's a winner is a very stressful thing for me. I think a lot of you know that because I kind of hide and I didn't meet the grantees because I have a better set of jury members who are a lot more experienced in this. But it's been an evolving process. And while the jury will talk about this year's process, I did want to highlight that it's the 3rd edition and we have refined the way we look at the grant. We always go back to understand what mistakes that we've made, how can we be more democratic about it, what is the right process of judging anyone's projects. It's been an evolving process and a very interesting process, and I'm sure Christoph shares this with me. They run so many grants at Rencontre de AL. I want to invite someone who's really special, my partner in crime for the partnership between India and France and all the cultural exchange that we've done. Amandine, thank you so much for being a part of our festival and foundation and doing everything that you've done for us. Can I please ask you to come and say a few words, please?
Hello everyone, thank you for such an introduction, Smriti. I'm very touched, honestly, because it's my 4th time in Serendipity, and it's not going to be my last, but certainly my last in that position. So I arrived and the prize was already existing. So it was one of the first meetings I had online before coming to India was about this prize, actually, the Serendipity AL Grant. Because I remember it was summer 2022 where the first grantee and all the team of the festival traveled to AL to see the first show. I was lucky enough to accompany Paris Bartana now 2 years ago in the festival. It was summer 2023, if I'm correct. And every time it's a great joy because I think Serendipity and AL are 2 platforms which have so much in common in the way they try to also gather the world and people who are from different regions in a specific territory with either AL, which is a beautiful city with so much heritage, and people get access in that quite small city to so many different visions. And I think it's also a bit what you are trying to do since now 10 years in Goa. So you can be proud, all of you, for this. And I think it's this program also inspired us very much at the French Embassy in the way we build together things. And I was trying to explain that yesterday, that we don't do things at the French Institute in a one way, in a unilateral way. We always try to think both ways. It's about representing French culture in India, for sure, which is our main mission, but also about how to give opportunities to the Indian and South Asian scene in France, because we know it works together hands in hands. And I really believe that's the way we could build a strong dialogue together during this past almost 4 years. So we are also moving ahead, I hope, and we will tell you very soon about it, but on strengthening our partnership, on taking also some our collaboration ahead with the bridge, which is going to be the next adventure. The festival is going to remain, of course, and we'll keep up having this prize, having a lot of French programming in the coming years. So I hope you will enjoy it and that we'll see you. So for the moment, is it my turn to announce the jury, to make the jury come on the stage? I don't know what is you, please, because I think now we should. I've been already too long, and we should just go on what you all expect, which is the announcement. So thank you very much, and thank you to all the team of the festival. It's always a beautiful work, and we feel very welcomed and very much at home. So thank you.
What we want to start with really is like I said, it's not easy to decide who wins a grant like this. So I'm going to request Sabina and Jemima to say a few words about the process, about what they thought of the entries, and then I will call on Christophe to kind of unveil the big announcement. Sabina, would you like to start with what your thoughts were about the process?
Want me to sit here and do it?
Yes, sure.
Can I be heard? Okay, so I do want to say that I'm going to start by saying something which has got nothing to do with anything. And that is to say that, should I? Okay. So I am the teacher in this room. I'm somebody who comes from an education background. I'm a professor at university. And I know that this whole business of winning and who gets the first prize is a very tough thing, and it's a very tough thing for everybody. So I do want to say right at the onset that this was a very difficult choice for us. It's not easy being a jury member. It's not easy being a teacher. And I'm saying that from my own experience. So I do want to say that, whatever happens, whoever is the winner or winners or whatever, you're all winners as far as we are concerned. You've made it to a serendipity. You've made these incredible bodies of work. We've seen you evolve. We've actually seen the ways in which your projects have evolved, and we have seen an evolution in each one of your projects. And we do feel really good about that. So that's the first thing that I want to say. Having said that, I will say that we listened very carefully to each of you when you were online. We made notes, we discussed amongst ourselves. And at the end of the day, I think that for us, what was very important was not just conceptual clarity and what you were saying, your ideas and how complex they were, or rather how simple they were, but you're also kind of pushing at something which is deeper and more layered. But we were also equally concerned with not just presentation, but form. Because I think that for all, I think it is important to not just look at what you're saying, but how you're saying it. So these were two things that we were looking at. And it was a very delicate balance to look at both, to look at content, but to also look at form. And these are the two things that we were looking at. I'm going to let Jemima say start by talking about some, and maybe not in any order, because maybe we can just give a little bit of feedback, Jemima, about each of I can take over from you after again, and then of course, we will let Christophe announce the winner.
Is this working?
Yes.
Hello, my name's Jemima Montague. I'm a UK curator and director of the Art Explorer Foundation in the UK, which is a UK-French non-profit arts organization. But I've worked a lot in South Asia, and I've worked on initiatives such as this, which are really about creating opportunities for emerging and mid-career artists. And so it's been such a pleasure for me, really, to meet all of you, to look at your work and hear you discuss it, and see the evolution over this last 9 months or so. So thank you for having me, Smriti, and it's just fantastic. It's my first chance to be here at Serendipity, and it's wonderful. So on to looking at your work. So yes, we've had 2 chances to meet you and to look at your work over the past 9 months. And of course, from a portfolio through to an exhibition, there's a big evolution. And I suppose I'm seeing Chinky first, so I'm going to start with you. Chinky, we really enjoyed looking at your work, and we picked you out of many other artists, particularly because of the strength of the portfolio and this somehow surreal quality that you brought to your photographs of the village near the nuclear testing site. And of course, we felt this was incredibly important subject matter. It resonates politically right now. It resonates with themes of nationalism. It resonates with the global kind of superpower supremacy that we're seeing playing out. But it's absolutely brought down to the intimate, and it's about the relationships that you've clearly developed over a long time with people in this village. A trusted relationship which allowed you to create intimate portraits of people. I think what attracted us to your work initially was, of course, the depth of the somehow the surreal and poignant and somehow threatening quality you brought to the work. And what we were interested in was how you were going to evolve that. You talked about some formal experimentation, and now we see that in the exhibition, and we've seen also that you've created a film. So you've definitely evolved the body of work into something multidisciplinary, and so it was very interesting to see how you developed that. If I move to, so it was wonderful. I'm just talking through, making a few comments, and then Ishta, it's also wonderful to have seen you bring this project together. I remember when you first talked about it, I was daunted by your intellect. It's a very philosophical project. You have to really, brush up on your philosophy to engage with some of this. But it's also very much from the heart, and there's something that's about, really taking us into a different zone and a different space. And I could see that that was a really important part of the installation that you created. So, I leave to the photography experts to talk about how you were doing something very interesting photographically and in terms of exploring the interior of the image. I found it moving to be in this space with the reflections of your projections, and I found it very interesting to see how you'd pulled it together. You really created an immersive experience that was really engaging to be inside and somewhat haunting.
Actually, you said just what I wanted to say about Ishita, because I really did think that in such a tiny space to create that kind of immersive experience was very tough, and you did manage to bring the sensory and express that really well. With Pinak's project, Pinak, we were very, very, we kept, I do remember that when we were having these conversations with you, you could not show us too much of the material then, and we didn't have an access to that material. I remember that, and it was quite exciting to see so much of material that you brought to Goa, to Serendipity.
You were able to convince us.
Yes.
So without image.
Yes.
For a festival,
Yes.
for image
Because he didn't
maker.
actually show us anything then. Right. And it's an incredibly dense project. It's an incredibly layered project. There's just so much there, ranging from sound recording to, the whole question of modernity and the question of knowledge production and food and, there's so much there. There's photography, there's so much. So we have been very impressed with the kind of range of material that you have brought to the project. So that's something that we really feel very, we feel very strongly that you've got this incredible command over the archive, and that is really the strength of your project. In the case of, I'm going to now come to Aman. And Aman, this is obviously a project that is a very universal condition, and yet it's so poignant. I relate to it, of course, because my mother has dementia as well, and I know your grandmother has dementia. So, it's a project for me. It was very heartfelt. But I do think that it is something that we were very impressed with your presentation, with your photographic skills, with the way that you put it all together, the way that you organize things in this space. And it's a kind of a very innovative response to the condition of dementia, which of course is very predicated on this whole business of the erasure of memory. And yet we know that memory is not something that's stable. I mean, we always talk about somebody with dementia not having memory, and yet we know that memory is something that is so ephemeral and so unstable. And I think that and yet it's so hard, because when you start to lose somebody with dementia, you don't lose the person physically, but you're losing the person mentally, and you're losing these memories. And yet there is this whole business of constantly creating those memories. So we did think that that use of the AI, application that you used with fabulation was really a fantastic idea. I'm less convinced even now about the usefulness of what you're doing with with the organization in Bangalore. And of course, we said that to you. But it's a fabulous project. So yes, that's really fantastic. Would you like to talk about Karthik?
Kartik, we.
Sorry, that's
I'm
me.
so sorry.
That's me.
I think we were all charmed from the very beginning. We saw your beautiful owl stretching out from Zoom, and we were all charmed by this world that you conjure in your work, which is this liminal space between the human and the animal, where instinct and sensory experiences prevail above our rational, mechanical world. And so we all felt very intuitively that you were onto something, and that was very exciting. And we also really enjoyed the format and the way that you thought about presenting some of your work, this storytelling, the way that you bring together and open up a space for storytelling in our modern world. And bringing together, exploring a narrative through visual and storytelling techniques. And of course, there's a storyteller in the story. So we very much enjoyed kind of going on that journey with you into this fictional, imaginative space. Thank you.
So this is a crucial moment.
Yes.
Crucial time. As you know, a jury is always a fantastic time. So it's really great to be part of a jury, but you have a responsibility. And we had some really long discussion, very, very long. So who is going to win and why and what do we, so because as you know, I'm the director of Rencontre d'Arles, and for me what is very important is also that the piece of the work and the artist we are going to bring to Arles is also one of probably the most interesting and the most developed work. And we had also a concern, and we were really touched about another work, and we had a kind of crucial moment. How could we decide between two body of work? And I will start with the first decision we took to give a special mention. And we gave a special mention to Karthik. Because as Jemima said, we want to go with you on this journey, but we are convinced that if you are going to come with us to Arles, so we will manage that. So. We will organize that you will be part of the portfolio review. You will have we are also pretty convinced that with contact, with maybe more exchange about your work, how you could display it, maybe also other kind of three-dimensionality. So I was really impressed as well as I saw your image and the relationship with the text. This idea of a tale, of a storytelling could be also probably probably an interesting form in a book form as well, but maybe as a film as well or as a slideshow. So for this reason, I think it will be very interesting that you will get more point of view on your body of work just to follow the development. So this is for the special mention, and we are very, very glad to give it to you this year. So I think Sabina said really some really very great work about your work, Aman, and we were really thrilled about the way how you were able to go from intimacy, in fact, from your private life and private home life, until another level in the way as you were able to integrate AI, which is for me a kind of um, huge new goal. How are we working with AI? What does it mean? So is it just a tool? Is it over a tool? Is that so? Will it change the form of the body of work in the future? And I think the idea, what you integrate, it's a kind of what is for me also interesting is that you use AI, which is a kind of new tool, and bring some kind of new reading of images. And on the other hand, you add the idea of confabulation, which is a much more kind of poetic and surreal interpretation. And I think both mixed together works very, very well. And I was also thrilled about the quality of your image, your black and white image, which are, so I could say, I just should say, really just beautiful and classic-wise, but very, very nice. And the installation was also very convincing. So you are our award this year.
Congratulations on the award.
And really, for us, as Mitty said before, so you did all a really great job. And even if you are not awarded, you were part of this edition. And I think, thank you, because I think it's really fantastic.
Thank you for putting in all the hard work. I know you guys worked very hard. A big shout out to Diksha, Keith, and Moksha for helping you guys with whatever you needed. I wish we had confetti to throw on you, but we don't. I wish we could like put some flowers or something, but we can maybe go have a drink in between.
And thanks really for our jury. So Julie and Alonia is not here, but we had really all some very great discussion.
Yes, thank you everyone, and thank you jury members. Thank you for giving so much of your time. It's a very hard and complicated process. It's not just the applications, but thank you very much. Thank you for coming to Goa again. And thank you for having us here. No, it's great. And I hope you guys all enjoy the rest of the festival. Thank you. Aman, would you like to say something?
Yes, I actually would. Just like 2 lines.
And then we take a picture.
Thank you so much for this. It's a huge honor, and thank you so much, Serendipity, for giving me this opportunity to talk about dementia. And dementia is something that it is so prevalent, but at the same time, it is so ignored. In India, there's estimated to be close to 90 million people living with dementia, which is almost 1/6 of the global count. And my aim with putting out this work was to start conversations around a topic that I really think there are not enough conversations about. So thank you so much for this, and I'm really grateful.
And on my side, I want just to thank Amandine, because without Amandine, I think it wouldn't exist. Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you, Amandine, and for sure the Institute Français and the French Embassy. Yes.
Needs to someone so that they don't go.